And welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. I am the former weight loss champion, Chuck Carroll. Adam has the sniffles, so he's unable to join us, but being a trooper, Goldberg is here for his weekly picks, and I greatly appreciate it. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, but Adam, man, seriously, what's up with him? He feels a little under the weather. Does his tummy hurt or something? What's up?
I think he caught a cold from his kid, and what his wife told me is that when he gets the sniffles, just the slightest little bit, he turns into the biggest baby in the world, so he couldn't be here today.
That's all good, man. We can toe the rope for him, and hopefully he gets better soon. And I'm going to lay off of him now because I get the contracting illnesses from your children thing.
A buddy of mine told me the doctor told him when his wife was pregnant the first time. This is so off topic, but the doctor said get ready to have every illness that you haven't had since grade school once you have this child because they're just going to bring all of those germs back in. Did you have that experience?
I didn't. It's just I got all my sleep taken away from me. I would forego the sickness for sleep back. Truthfully. There's no doubt, man. But yeah, I've been sick a couple times from the little guy, but fortunately he's pretty impenetrable when it comes to his immune system. So we're all good so far.
Gotta like that. Hey, congratulations! Another clean sweep for you last week. 5 for 5 in your picks. Matter of fact. Everybody went 5 for 5 except for me, who decided to take the Cincinnati Bengals. And I swear, just for a fleeting moment, I thought that I was going to be the genius that ran the table. But no, Big Ben and company had to come back and win that one.
Well, you had to buck the trend, man. I mean, it was very admirable of you to go against our pick. We knew your heart really wasn't in it, but you just threw the wrench in the game for us, so that's good, man. You took one for the team. Good job.
Yeah, well, I'm already behind, so what the hell. All right, well, let's see if we can't do a little bit better this week, see if I can actually go 5 for 5, see if you can keep wiping the mat with me and Adam and Angie, because you are by far in the lead. I don't have the exact totals in front of me, but I know after 3 weeks of picking, you have at least a 3-game lead on all of us, so hats off to you, sir.
Well, now we know it's not based upon intelligence, so thank you.
Hey, man, you don't have to be intelligent to be lucky, and luck goes a long way in Vegas, my friend. So,
bingo.
All right, here we go. Starting with the interesting game this week, Goldberg, the Patriots and the Rams over in London. Now, get this. St. Louis, technically the home team at Wembley Stadium. They have a 3-1 home record, but they're 0-3 on the road. I don't care whether or not you're the home team or you're the Patriots, the visiting team. This is a road game for everybody. How do you see this one playing out?
It's tough. I remember back in, I think it was 1922, when I played in Berlin with the Rams. It's first of all, it's a tough trip over there, and there's no doubt that it's an away game for both the guys. Hey, Brady's on a roll right now. I do believe that Patriots defense is going to, cause a rough day for Bradford, so I'm going Pats.
I'm inclined to agree, and Adam, Mr. Sniffles, got his pick in ahead of time, and no surprise there. He's also going with New England. Next game, this is one that I'm actually very, very interested in. The undefeated Atlanta Falcons coming into Philadelphia to take on Michael Vick and the Eagles. Interesting game. The Washington Redskins a couple weeks ago gave the Falcons all they could handle. Matt Ryan had to come from behind to lead the Falcons to victory. Goldberg, do you think that Philadelphia can put an end to this losing streak or this win streak for Atlanta?
This is tough, dude. Like you said, this is going to be a good game. The Eagles, in my mind, have to be PO'd right now. You got the Falcons coming in 6-0. They're on a roll. Can they go to 7-0? I'm going to say yes because they're my former team. Not to say that it's the smartest pick this week.
So there
you go. I'm gonna
honest answer, man.
I had to do it, man. I know where you're gonna go, and I think I know where Adam's going. But at the end of the day, I do have a affinity for the Falcons.
Hey, man, and I'll tell you what, Tony Gonzalez is just an ageless wonder. What he's able to do at tight end still to this day is unbelievable. unbelievable. Got a chance to watch him play in person a couple weeks ago. This guy is still lighting it up. I don't know what he's eating or what he's drinking, but everybody should get on that plan.
You know what it is, dude? It's called karma. He's a good person. You know, at the end of the day, he's got great longevity. He's been able to excel year after year. You know, seemingly he's been there 20 years, but you know, you're right. The kid's ageless.
Well, I'm going with the ageless wonder in Atlanta to push to 7-0, and guess what? Adam, meanwhile, Adam is bucking the trend. He's actually going with the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
I don't blame you one little bit. Then up down in Texas, big NFC East matchup. Your New York Football Giants going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Hard-hitting matchup. Records go out the window when we're talking about a divisional game. How do you see this one playing out? Do Romo and the boys have home field advantage in this one?
You know, I don't think they've solidified home field advantage in that stadium yet, to be perfectly honest with you. I think teams are so excited when they come in there. They play up to the level, if not surpass the level of the home team. You know, Manning's on a roll. Cowboys, you don't know who's going to show up, and like you said, games go out or records go out the window. It's like the Georgia-Florida game this weekend. It's always a toss-up. I'm going Giants.
I'm going Giants as well. That team is just one to be reckoned with. Eli Manning is playing out of his mind right now. Him and Victor Cruz might be the deadliest quarterback-receiver tandem in the NFL at the moment. And watching those two connect and burn the Redskins last week was just a heartbreaker for this entire area. Everybody, Goldberg, I'm telling you, everybody thought that this game was won. They go up by the score with less than 2 minutes to go. 17 seconds later, a 77-yard bomb. Boom. Game over. Heartbreak, devastation here in D.C. For that reason, I'm saying that Eli Manning and the Giants win. So is Adam. Another interesting game, the 4th out of 5 here. New Orleans Saints traveling to take on Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Broncos coming off of a bye. And Peyton Manning, all of this injury concern seems to be falling by the wayside, and he's returned to form a little bit. How do you see this one? Drew Brees versus Peyton Manning in Denver.
Man, you know, Peyton's at home. He's seemingly coming into form the way that people expected him to, most people. The Saints are all off, man. I'm going to go coaching with the Broncos and Manning with the Broncos, even though it's going to be a great game watching those two quarterbacks go at it. I'm going Broncos home field advantage.
Well, here's the wrinkle in that equation. You know, after that sluggish 0-4 start, the Saints have actually managed to string together a couple of wins. But I'm with you. I think that winning streak ends in Mile High. I do think that Peyton Manning and the company are just too good, especially at home. That is definitely the team to beat in the AFC West. So for that reason, I'm saying that Peyton and company come away with the victory. Adam sees it the same way. Final game, and this one should be easy to pick. I only went with it because it was another divisional game. San Francisco 49ers, super hot if you take that New York Giants game out of the equation from a couple weeks ago, versus the Arizona Cardinals, backpedaling, regressing, however it is you want to put it. The only thing Arizona has going for them in this game, Goldberg, is the fact that they're playing at home. Is that going to be enough to get them a win?
Absolutely not. Not against the rolling 49ers. Like you said, take that Giants game out of it and look at the Niners defense, man. I don't think Fitzgerald and any quarterback at this point, you know, with the lineup of the Cardinals is going to be able to do anything against that Niner defense. I'm going Niners.
And I agree 100%. Arizona goes from 4-0 to 4-3, a 3-game losing streak. That's going to be extended to 4. I don't even think this one is close. Stick a fork in Arizona. They are done. San Francisco rolls. Adam sees it the same way. And with that, we're done. You're off the hot seat. Goldberg, thanks a lot, man.
You got it, man. Adam, get well, my brother. We will talk to you next week.
Yeah, we'll send him a box of Kleenex.
and some Depends. I know his tummy's going to be hurt.
You get all that NyQuil inside of you, everything just gets messed up. All right, that is Goldberg on Fourth and Pain. Thank you so very much. We'll pick again with him next week. Be sure to submit your picks online with us at fourthandpain.com. Tweet us at Fourth and Pain. Goldberg, thanks again.
Who's next, my brother?
All right, this is Fourth and Pain. We will be right back. And welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion. He is Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker. I am said announcer and weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. And Adam, thank you so much for calling in. It's so nice of you to join us. Where have you been, sir? Where have you been?
Oh, man, it's been a rough couple days. I've had the sniffles, so to speak, but... You know, being the die-hard, tough man that I am, I'm sucking it up for the good of the show.
I know some of the conversations that we've had from your sickbed this week, you and I are having a real hard time, and we have been having a hard time trying to figure out what in the world is going to happen with the big match, CM Punk versus Ryback. So what I want to do, I want to talk about that one last. I want to pick that one last. Give us a couple extra minutes to think about it. So let's start with the undercard. The one match that's on the card right now, a non-title match, still one to look forward to. Randy Orton versus my man, the Mexican Rodriguez, and Alberto Del Rio. How do you see this one playing out? Does the Viper strike, or does Del Rio continue his build toward a title?
Part of me is like, every time Alberto Del Rio gets in a big match one-on-one, he always seems to lose. So he's got to break that streak eventually. But the other part of me is like, you know, Randy Orton's still kind of on that big comeback. He's kind of on that streak, that high of coming back. And none of these matches are easy to pick. I mean, you talked about Ryback, CM Punk, but to me, they're all tough to pick. Normally, like I was telling you before we started the segment, a name will just pop in my head. I'm like, yeah, it's that simple. I'm going with this guy, but it's not like that. I think I'm going to have to go with Orton because he was up on a pedestal at one point, equal with John Cena. And I think he's kind of fallen a little bit. And I think he needs to get back to that pedestal. And I think stepping all over the Mexican Rodriguez, as you put it, I think will help put him back on that pedestal because they need some more stars to arise against him. He's not necessarily a new face, but he needs to get back there.
You know what? I'm absolutely inclined to agree with you. Randy Orton has actually been away filming a movie. I think he's doing the latest 12 Rounds sequel. And so he's just kind of coming back and getting that push. So I suspect he's going to get that win. But here's the thing that you have to be concerned about. Alberto Del Rio, he's a guy that has been in that title picture off and on, and he never seems to get over that hump. He never seems to be the guy that can recapture that title. And so at some point, you have to start wondering, well, are they going to have this guy lose too much? Is he going to become irrelevant and then not sellable as a top WWE superstar?
I agree with you, but I don't know. I don't think his streak of losing those big one-on-one matches ends here. I think it's going to continue.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the WWE Tag Team title match. Team Hell No, Kane and Daniel Bryan going against Rhodes Scholars. I don't know about you. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one first and say, again, we've talked about this on the show. WWE has stumbled onto a gold mine with the awkward pairing of Daniel Bryan and Kane, which I maintain, if you and I were ever to get in the ring together, our team would not be all that different than Kane and Daniel Bryan. The size difference and just the quirkiness of it all reminds me of what we're doing here on Fourth and Pain. And I can't pick against us. So with us being the tag team champions, I say we retain the belts. How do you see this one?
Well, I can't argue with what you said. You do kind of remind me of a goat face, but, you know, back to picking the match, I think that...
That's cold. You've called me a lot of things, and now we're at goat face.
Goat face with Rogaine hair. Part of me thinks, just because I'm sick doesn't mean I ain't still going to come at you with the fists flying verbally, of course, not literally. I expect
no less from you, my friend.
And don't worry, I heard what Goldie Hawn had to say about me earlier. I'll send him some Pampers. He's going to need them pretty soon. He's getting up there in age. But anyways. When we're talking about Team Hell No versus Rhodes Scholars, part of me thinks that Rhodes Scholars, they're actually clicking pretty well. And I'm digging the name Rhodes Scholars, and I think it's gotten over fairly well with the fans. So part of me thinks that Rhodes Scholars is going to win so they can keep them going. Because if they lose, Rhodes Scholars can't continue. But if Team Hell No loses, they can continue, and they can try to get their titles back, and that could be a whole other storyline. You know, trying to repair their relationship, trying to get their titles back and all that. But the other part of me is like, they're not gonna end this gold mine. They're just gonna keep the tag team title run going, and I'm gonna go with that because I think it will come to a time where they do lose their belts, and that ultimately leads to the division and maybe a match at WrestleMania. I just don't think it's going to be as long-winded answer. Team Hell No.
You know what? Yeah, Team Hell No definitely going to retain. Road Scholars, I mean, they put the tag team titles back in the spotlight with this red hot team, and if you put it on anybody else right now, it's really going to lose its momentum, and that's another big thing to factor in. But I did read one wild card thing, I think, on some wrestling fan site this week that said, you know what, with the general manager position on Raw kind of being in limbo, Vicky Guerrero, mind you, is not the official general manager. She's like supervising manager or something like that. With that still being in limbo, somebody floated out the idea of having Kane actually take over as general manager because he's kind of transitioned into a more, I don't want to say realistic, but a more human presence, just the way that he's interacting now with Daniel Bryan.
I could see that happening. I mean, honestly, when's the last time we had a consistent general manager on Raw? We had the celebrity guests who would appear every week. That went on for about a year. You've had various interim general managers all the way back to Mr. Johnny Laurinaitis. You had the computer, with Michael Cole reading the stupid emails. That went on for a long time. I can't even remember the last time there was a regular GM. It might have been Eric Bischoff, which was years ago.
Wow.
So Kane, I could see Kane doing that. He's actually getting to the point where he speaks a little bit. He doesn't need the little voice thing that he used the first time he spoke anymore. I could see that. But as far as this match goes, I agree with you. I think Team Hell No is going to retain.
All right, man. Well, let's take a look at one of those Hell in the Cell matches. Let's start first with Sheamus going up against the challenger Big Show. They've been building up Big Show in a big way for a number of weeks, ever since his return at this point. How do you see this one playing out? I think that of the two big title matches, this is the more likely to have the title change hands, but I'm going to let you pick first. How do you see this one?
Either Sheamus retains. The Big Show is not walking out of Hell in a Cell with the belt. So either Sheamus retains or Big Show wins. Dolph Ziggler comes down, beats him in 45 seconds to continue that humility. And I've had a hard time deciding between those two endings. To be honest with you, sooner or later, I mean, CM Punk and Sheamus have had these belts forever. And as I'm talking, I'm still trying to decide. That's why I keep saying that's why I keep hesitating. I'm gonna go with Big Show, and I'm gonna go with Dolph Ziggler cashes in Money in the Bank.
Big Show and Dolph Ziggler. You know what? I'm actually just going to go with Big Show, period. I think that they've been building up this Dolph Ziggler cashing in Money in the Bank for quite some time. I think that it would be a little bit too predictable to have him do it in this match. Although your theory about having him beat the Big Show again in record time makes a lot of sense, but I don't want to go back on my word. So with that said, I think that Big Show is going to win the title, and he's going to keep it for a short time, and then maybe Dolph Ziggler wins it on SmackDown and they do one of the non-pay-per-view title changes. I don't know, but I'm going with Big Show for this match.
Have we picked all the matches the exact same so far?
Yeah, we have. So let's change it up a little bit.
Stop copying me.
Well, don't worry. I did the same thing to Goldberg. Kofi Kingston defending his Intercontinental title against The Miz. The Miz getting his rematch. Do you see the title going back to Mr. Awesome, or is this the case where Kofi's going to retain?
I think eventually Miz will get it back because I think they're really trying to push Kofi Kingston over the top right now. And this is his big push. This is his big chance. And I just don't know that he's a great athlete. Appears to get along great with the fans, maybe in a small circle, little kids group type of setting, but just as far as getting over the top in the middle of a big-time show, he hasn't done it yet since he's been there. So I think he's going to retain here because they're trying to push him, but eventually he's going to lose it just because I don't think he'll be able to carry it.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but for different reasons. I think Kofi's going to retain, and it's kind of like I said a couple of weeks ago on the show. It seems like they're transitioning Miz into more of a mouthpiece than a wrestler. Remember, he's been dabbling in the announcing role for WWE Main Event on Wednesday night. Of course, he has Miz TV every now and again on Raw and SmackDown. And, of course, he's very, very good on the mic. I think that that's taking a lot of the pressure and the need for him to be pushed as a wrestler out of the equation. So, for that reason, I think that Kofi's going to retain. Now, final match. CM Punk versus Ryback. Does Mr. Feed Me More get the title, or does CM Punk retain and put an end to Ryback's win streak?
Something tells me I think there's something going to happen in the pre-show to where maybe Ryback can't participate, but I don't know if they can do that because they've advertised this as Ryback versus Punk, so maybe they can't do that for business reasons. But I still kind of have that impression. If it actually happens, I'm going with Ryback because they can't push a guy like this. I mean, JR just he must be living at the stars, trying to find every positive adjective he can find to describe Ryback whenever he wrestles a match on Raw. I mean, he's talking about adjectives I ain't never even heard of, and there's like 10 of them coming out of his mouth every second. And it's like they're not going to try and push a guy over the top this soon, this big, and have him lose. And that totally contradicts everything I've said about CM Punk versus The Rock at the Royal Rumble and everything that's been set up there. I don't know. I don't think they can do it. I think Ryback's going to win. I don't even think I'm right, but that's the prediction I'm going to go with just because that's my gut feeling.
Man, am I ever torn with this. They're going through with the match, but there has to be a twist. There absolutely, positively, without a doubt, has to be a wrinkle in this equation. Now, here is something that I didn't get a chance to share with you because I was saving this for myself. Now, as I said earlier, I was on a wrestling fan site, and somebody else posted that the local advertising for next month's pay-per-view, the Survivor Series, is implying that Ryback and Big Show will be captaining the Survivor Series teams. And John Cena and CM Punk will also be in a feud, presumably for the WWE title. Now, I tell you that, and I will ask you fairly, do you want to change your pick at this point?
So what you're saying is, according to this advertisement, it's going to be Cena versus Punk for the title.
Right.
And then Big Show and Ryback will be captaining the teams, which means they probably won't have either of the belts. So why did you pick the Big Show then?
Because I didn't even think about that at the time. Damn it. But that, but you know what? That still fits in with my timeline that he could lose it on a SmackDown or something like that. So I'm sticking with that pick. But I want to know, it's okay. This is one opportunity I will give you if you want to flip back to CM Punk winning this match at Hell in the Cell. You were well within your right, given what I've just hit you with.
Well, I think it fits my Big Show winning and then losing in 45 seconds prediction pretty well. So I'm sticking with that. As far as Ryback and Punk, the advertisements, but I mean, people aren't going to look at Ryback the same if he loses, and I don't care if there's some sort of hokey finish. I'm sticking with Ryback. I'm going to stick with him. Wow.
Okay, you are a bold individual, and you are to be respected for that reason. But I will be the first to tell you, you're dead wrong. And there is no way that Ryback is going to walk out of Hell in the Cell with that title. If he does, I'll be shocked. But then again, you need to take my pick with a big grain of salt because as I've proven over the past 6 months, I can't pick a match to save my life. So, with that, I am staking my minimal match-picking reputation on CM Punk. I think that something is going to happen. Either Brock Lesnar gets involved, John Cena gets involved somehow on the pre-show. Something is going to happen where CM Punk retains that title and Ryback does not necessarily have to lose, and they can continue to push that undefeated streak. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Real quick, I'm going to change my pick. The bottom line is something's going to happen in the pre-show. It's not going to be CM Punk versus Ryback. CM Punk's going to retain. But if Ryback does wrestle him, Ryback wins. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm officially changing my pick to that. CM Punk's going to win somehow.
In that case, with the exception of Dolph Ziggler cashing in and Money in the Bank, you and I are an exact carbon copy of each other in this pay-per-view. Which means I can't lose. I cannot lose. All right.
Also kind of boring, to be honest.
It happens. But you know what? I'm up for it because it means that I'm going to win for a change. So
sounds good.
On that note, again, thank you so very much for believing in our weirdness. I'm Chuck Carroll.
I'm Adam Carriker. I might be sick, but I still got the largest arms on the D-line. Peace out, home skillet.